assuming they take the position, that'll be well worth it down the road.
Yeah.
A developer who's amazing is worth 10 times as much as an average developer. But we'll tend not to overpay in base, because you want to make sure they're coming to the business because they're excited about working with the team and they're excited about the technology and the vision, not because they're going to make 20% more than what they made working at an investment bank. So we'll even when we have the cash to pay it, we'd really rather have it be equity or vesting or bonus or something other than just base cash.
Thinking that you'll just be able to find someone by asking all the people that you know. You really don't know as many people as you think you know, because you may know a lot of people, but then it's how many developers do you know, and how many developers who have worked at startups who have particular experience with what you're looking for and are right personality fit, and then timing. There are a bunch of people who are great fits who literally just joined another company. And so forget about anybody that literally just joined another company within the last 3 to 6 months, because they're not going anywhere, because they don't want their resume just to be a bunch of 3-month stints at places, no matter how much they want to work for you.
Sort of the balance of making sure you have something that you're looking for versus this person's great, let's throw them in, something will come up. We're growing fast, something will come up, because there's that lag. You want to have something to do.
Once developers get past a certain point in skill, the actual programming language they're using doesn't matter. And so in fact, the very top developers are going to be just as effective if you throw a brand new programming language at them as if you give them a language they've been working in before.
At the very top level, there's people who say, we just do what works, and we take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and we give names to it, and we do what makes sense instead of gluing ourselves to a particular methodology.
That's the problem, I think, with the A- developers or the B developers, is that as much as anything, they're taking time away from the better developers because they have to be babysat and the code has to be reviewed too carefully and corrections have to be made, and they just don't get up to speed quick enough. So those people who want to work together and want to produce good stuff and have a sense of how to do that in a good way is what I'm looking for.
One of the number one mistakes that first-time founders make is they don't interview enough people or give them a position. And they don't have enough of an appreciation of what a good person might be like relative to a so-so person. And guess what? The only way you're going to find that out is by talking to a lot of people and by trying to have not only well-defined criteria, but sort of the same set of questions. And try to have the interviews, within some reasonable time frame from each other. So you kind of get the same question answered by 10 people. It'll give you contrast.
A really good programmer, if you have a good interview set up for them, should come out of it excited because they're like, wow, these guys are really smart, I want to work with them. Otherwise, just not.
One thing I didn't really hear anybody say is about the interviewing process per se. For us, it's always an audition, no matter what the job. For a programming job, you're going to come in and you're going to program on the whiteboard. And we're not going to expect you to have to memorize anything, but we're going to start with a really easy problem with fog reading. First thing in the morning, we're going to give you a really easy programming problem. And the only thing we're looking to see is if you can do this really, really fast. Because everybody can do it. It's so easy that any programmer can figure it out. But for the super programmers, it's just like writing. It should just be easy to do that fast. And if you have to think about it, then that means you're thinking at too low a level, not thinking at a high level.
But one of the challenges is if you feel desperate to get someone in that position, you see someone that's almost there, you might want to hire them, but waiting to see if you can get a few more candidates in the pipeline. And the other piece that we haven't mentioned here is once you actually get that person and you get the person in the company, especially at startups where everyone is running 100 miles per hour, you have to make sure that person, you're still recruiting when that person still gets there. You want to make sure that you're ready for that person to get here, that they have something to work on, a project or something, because you don't want to spend all of this time recruiting that person in, and then they get there and say, oh my goodness, this place is so dysfunctional, or I have nothing to do, I'm out of here. So if they're good and they're not challenged, they're gonna leave. We haven't had that problem yet, but I've seen it in other companies.
Finally, my business partner said, look, it's just like dating. He's not that into you. You'll find somebody that is into you, and there will be a better cultural fit. And it just takes a while, and it takes a lot of people that you have to get.